Sir, thanks for joining us today on Leadership Log, which is a podcast for the Air Force Lifecycle Management Center community on topics of interest. And certainly a topic of interest is ACQDemo, and specifically the decision to remove tiers from ACQDemo and move to the career path guides. But before we get into that, if you could just introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your background in civil service.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me here. I'm Tom Fredericks. I'm the Deputy Director of the Air Base Group at Hanscom Air Force Base, the 66th Air Base Group. And I started out my career as a personnel officer on active duty Air Force. And I worked in recruiting and training. I worked in some mission support as a mission support group deputy commander. And I also did some work in recruiting. So after I finished my career with active duty, I started as a civilian in the Electronic Systems Center in ESCDP, and I led the Workforce Development Division. So then after I finished up there, I moved over to the Air Base Group to be the Deputy Director, and I really enjoy my role in the Air Base Group. We have a great many people who really care about the mission, who really do above and beyond, and that's what makes being a part of this organization special. Thanks.
Thank you. So, sir, we want to talk about the career path guides and prompted by the decision to remove tiers from ACQDemo. So let's just start with that. I mean, why was now the right time to remove tiers out of ACQDemo?
Well, the catalyst was some of the results from the AFMC We Need survey. Where a lot of people felt it was time to remove those tiers. And I agree. I think we were ready. It's a good idea. It provides more flexibility, which is really what the system is built for, is for flexibility to make sure we're compensating people at the right levels. So with the experience and the analysis that was done over the first 4 cycles, this is where we ended up. So it allows the factor and factor descriptors and the employee contributions to more fully drive compensation. So I think that it benefits us all, but it does drive more thinking and more oversight to make sure that we're working this properly.
So basically, the career path guides, how are they different than tiers?
Well, it provides the tiers provided some needed guidance, some rails to keep compensation in the right areas, during the initial phases, right? So now we have a baseline of knowledge, and we were able to create some accurate career paths. The Air Base Group career paths are going to be very different from a lot of the acquisition organizations. We have a wide variety of career fields in the Air Base Group. So our career path chart is a little bit more generalized than you might find in some of the others. But it does provide some areas where all of our employees can find, they can find themselves where they are in those areas. And then that way, they can launch conversations with their supervisors and start to figure out, where am I, where do I want to be, and then what are the things that I need to do, to get there. So it allows people to start thinking about career progression, and maybe you need to find another role to move up within your pay band. Because the role that you're in only has a certain level of contribution that really isn't going to get you to the top of the pay band if that's what you want. Maybe where you are now requires that you look for a promotion into another pay band. So communication is key, but my hope is this is really going to stimulate professional development. And it's not just, getting a different job. It's what am I doing to grow? Do I need to broaden into a different type of job? Do I need to get a certification? Maybe an associate's or a bachelor's or a master's degree. There's a wide variety of things that this can help to drive.
These really are about empowering employees to make informed decisions about their career and also to make the advancements, maybe laterally or up and down the chain based on their professional aspirations, but also their personal situations with their family and things like that.
Mhm.
Is that correct? I mean, that's the intent, is to help them navigate their career.
Absolutely, absolutely, and and I'll keep foot stomping communication. It's like it's a baseline for communication between supervisor and employee. So there's a good understanding of expectations. Expectation management is critical here. People need to understand that their contribution levels get to a certain level, and then maybe they need to look for a different role. And the career guide, it provides you a snapshot of your career progression. If you want to increase your OCS and your subsequent compensation, you need to look at ways to grow.
So you mentioned that there's a wide variety of careers within the Airbase group, and so your career path guide might be a little bit more general than some of the others. So it would be important, I assume, then, to talk with people, mentors, supervisors, to help understand better where exactly you fit on that path.
Absolutely. And finding mentors doesn't have to be a formal process. It can just be something simple like talking to your supervisor and saying, hey, these are some of the things that I'm interested in. Who could I talk to just to get an idea and get conversations going with people who can educate you on what you need to do, on what those other roles might be like, on some of the development that you can undertake to get yourself positioned so that you can attain those other roles. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the communication with your supervisor is vital as well, so that you can understand in your current position how you can improve and increase your contributions, so that that you'll get the most benefit out of that, and therefore the organization will also get the most benefit out of that. As always, annual salaries are going to be based on the level of responsibility for a specific position. So in other words, the contribution that position makes to the unit mission, that's what's key.
Mm-hmm. So, sir, it just about brings us to the end of our time, but before we close, I want to see, is there anything that we left out or anything that we need to mention? We didn't really talk about career broadening positions as well, so.
Yes, well, that is always an opportunity, not just career broadening, but also, there's a wide variety of developmental education opportunities. Opportunities where you can get an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree. You can go to professional military education. There are 1-week seminars that are spectacular. I attended recently a leading change seminar for a week, and it was a great way to step away and refresh, but it had great content. It was a great opportunity to network and learn from other folks. But you're right also with the career broadening opportunities. We do have a lot of different positions in this organization, and there are opportunities, so ask. And I encourage the members of the Airbase group to ask me. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. The other thing that people need to be thinking about is, if they have certain career aspirations, our organization is a limited size organization. Maybe you need to be thinking about, maybe someday you need to move to a different organization if you're going to get to a different level. Or maybe you need to think about moving locations if you really want to get, to maximize your career progression and career growth, because that's what sometimes that you need to do. Other people are going to want to stay here at Hanscom, and that's great. I've been here for a while myself, and I enjoy being here. I enjoy my role. But I understand that if I want to go to the next level, that I probably need to consider a new location. The other things that I would foot stomp is, again, communication is key. Keep that conversation going with your supervisor through the year, periodically. There are different phases of the cycle, and every phase should be addressed, at least in one conversation, preferably more. And then finally, I'd really encourage everybody to check out the AFL-CMC ACQDemo Knowledge Center. If you just Google it, AFL-CMC ACQDemo Knowledge Center, there are all these podcasts that, that we've been doing, which are great. There's a lot of resources. The career paths are up there. And then there are links to all sorts of information. So the more educated you are, the better off you'll be. And the more you'll be able to get out of this ACQDemo system, which I really believe is a great thing for us.
That's great. That's a great point to end on, sir, and appreciate your time very much today.
Oh, thank you very much. Have a great day.